But as you know, today is Jackie Robinson Day.
That's right.
April 15th, 1947 is when he broke the color barrier, and it changed America forever in a good way. And today, Major League Baseball celebrates Jackie Robinson. Look at the catcher, has a 42 on his chest, on the chest protector. Every player in Major League Baseball is wearing number 42. No player has ever impacted a sport to where this would be the case. You can't come up with anything else where somebody was that important to a sport, to a country, and Jackie Robinson is that man, and what he endured. He died very young. You know the stress that he was under.
I did a whole thing on that for LA Times Today show that I do, and it was actually sad how he kind of went out. And a lot of it was what you said. A lot of what he endured. He didn't trust a lot of folks, and
pressure.
All that. It got a little rough towards the end. But but just what he meant, what he stood for. Credit to the Dodgers for never letting his legacy die or kind of just be something on the wayside. A little quick note, like, oh, remember that one day?
They're wrapped in it.
They are all entrenched in it, and I love that for for the organization, for him, for the family. And they're showing right now. If you look right now, they're showing all the legacy of the African American players that have come after him. You see Ricky Henderson, you saw Tony Gwynn, King Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds. They're showing a bunch of Derek Jeter right now.
Aaron Judge.
Yep, they're showing them all because of Jackie. And we imagine not having these players. Imagine sports. Right now we're watching on the other TV Orlando and Atlanta play and the play-in. And just imagine if we didn't have African Americans. Now, of course, you can have Koreans, you can have Latinos, you can have anybody in any league if they're good
enough, they can play.
Yeah,
no doubt. But we wanted to, and we want you to get involved in this. So it is the question to you, Kelvin, and I want you to: is Jackie Robinson in a class of his own? And we know what Muhammad Ali meant to people not only in this country but around the world. He was a international figure.
For sure.
Where, he stood for certain things. People looked to him for strength and guidance. Like he was more than just a boxer. And a guy with a sharp tongue and could rhyme and rap or whatever you want to call rhyme, I guess is whatever. You know what I mean? Like you think of that. And more than just, of course, the rope-a-dope or the end of his career when he was not the same guy. But you got to remember, here was a guy, and I always think that this is the part when I think of Muhammad Ali, who was basically a draft dodger.
Yeah.
He did not want to go to war and refused to go to war, gave up his heavyweight title, right? Threw the medal, right, in the river.
Yep.
And wound up lighting the torch for the United States in the Olympics. Just think about those two things. If you would have told somebody back then, and then see him later on in his life, would that be the case? Nobody could have ever imagined that. Remember, when he changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, there was some sportscaster who wouldn't even call him that, who refused to call him Muhammad Ali.
So there's a handful of people I put in this group of just pioneers and what they endured, what they went through, what they meant. Obviously, they're great accolades and their talent and their skill. I look at that just to continue with Muhammad Ali. I think what makes him so endearing is that he gave it all up right at his prime too, and he went to jail, went to prison for a couple of years.
And there was no for sure that he was going to come back. You know what I mean?
And he
at
couldn't
that time,
fight for a couple, 2-3 years, lost his titles, lost money. And this ain't the day and age now where, okay, I got $200-300 million in the bank. I can go sit down for a couple years. I'll be back. This is not that, what he was dealing with. Death threats, people questioning his faith, his religion. I mean, and for him to just speak truth to power regularly on talk shows and news conferences, and while he's in the ring, I mean, and to do it forever. What he meant, the joy that he brought people in his latter years. Muhammad Ali I don't want to rank these people in the sense that they did amazing things, but he might be the one to me right there when you talk about League of His Own. Maybe it's he and Jackie Robinson because it's just what they went through. And you hear the stories about what Jackie Robinson went through. You hear the stories about, I want to throw another one in the mix, Bill Russell. If you Bill Russell said, I love the Celtics. I don't mess with Boston, the city, because of all that he went through. Death threats, coming home, house broken in, they smeared feces all over his bed, his family, regularly.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant
It was
at
not
all.
pleasant. He, to his dying day, was not a fan of the city of Boston. And if I'm watching that Celtic City, and
can you get over with that?
Well, they're stalling them. They're not doing the drop it all at once. They're doing it every week, every Monday.
I was wondering, okay.
Yeah, so the last one is next Monday. But Bill Russell, to me, is in that category. Till his death, stood for something, talked about things, was there for people, wanted everybody to understand the truths and where we should be, the improvements we need. Bill Russell, Ali, Jackie Robinson, as far as sports figures, those are kind of the three that I look up to. And then not alone. There are other, but those three. You got Billie Jean King, what she stood for over the years, really bolstering women's sports, equality in women's sports, and so many different things. Billie Jean King is up there as well if you want to think about some more people. But I just love that they went beyond themselves to the point where it could have been detrimental to literally their health, their wealth, their well-being, and cost them, their playing ability. And I'll forever be indebted to folks like that for what they've done.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Rob and I talking about just honoring Jackie Robinson, of course, in this day, April 15, 1947. He broke the racial barrier in MLB and really changed the game of sports and really American society.
Life in this country.
So we're just honoring kind of those folks who are in the same ilk, same types of folk. We've named Ali. We named Billie Jean King. We named Bill Russell. We named even Colin Kaepernick, more recent. Who do you have out there?
We know there are other names out there.
Yep, 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Joe in Texas, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Joe?
Guys, love your show.
Thank you. Joe. Appreciate it.
Listen to you guys for a long time coming home, and especially you, Rob.
Thank you,
love
my
your
man.
insights.
Appreciate it.
I was going to tell you about Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens. There's another one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that was a tough time during that, against Hitler and running that Olympics during that time.
No doubt.
Can you really imagine that? You got
Hitler was in attendance. Yep. I know that was crazy.
Like sometimes I think, and thank you for the call, Joe. Sometimes I think we forget.
Yep. You know what I was mad about?
You know what I was
mad about? Seriously, when I look at that part in history and I look at that. Why did the other athletes go when they wouldn't allow the Jewish athletes from the United States to participate? Do you know what I mean? Like, we probably shouldn't have gone at all.
Well, I mean, dude,
I'm just.
But I don't disagree. But I'm saying if you look at that day and age, there was a lot going on. You
crazy.
Know what I mean? It's a crazy, wild time. Who had rights? Who didn't have rights? Who couldn't do certain things?
But Jewish athletes couldn't participate.
Yeah, Jewish athletes. I mean, there's a lot that was happening, unfortunately, in this world, in this country, but let alone the world. Then.
Randy in New Orleans, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Randy?
Uncle Rob and Kelvin, how y'all doing?
Man, we're doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Always good to hear from y'all. I thought y'all did a great job when you talked about Ali and the late great Jackie Robinson, how both of them had such a profound impact.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like two separate ways, if you will.
Yeah.
But I also love how Ali, we got to remember how he was on top of what was the biggest sport at the time, the biggest athlete, and he had the loudest voice, and he said the things that needed to be said at that time. And how you can always measure how profound someone is you fast forward 60, 70 years later, and those words still ring true. So I just think Ali was awesome, and I don't want to get into a comparison.
No. Right.
Yeah, but I just thought that
because no one's we're not going to sit here and try to diminish Jackie Robinson
or
Ali, right?
But I love the way that you guys articulated that. I appreciate y'all. I love the show so much.
Thank you, Randy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we don't mind.
And we talked about this. We were like, we want to do something different. We could talk about baseball and all this stuff, but no, Jackie Robinson is way bigger than just that. And you even brought it up earlier about the Dodgers and their embracing of the man and baseball.
Truly.
And all the teams.
Like it isn't just like don't forget what we're going to do on that day. It's like if you keep up with the Dodgers, they truly, truly honor the man and the family. And as they show his family right now, his kids when they were younger and his wife.
And his wife is
still with us, still bright and beautiful and vibrant.
She's over 100 years. What is she, 102? Beautiful. Yeah. Still looks great.
Yep.
Paul in Oregon, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Paul?
Hi, Arthur Ashe.
Yeah, I was going to bring him up.
Okay.
Yeah. Great one. Why so?
Why for you to talk about Arthur?
Well, tennis is kind of a country club. That would have been a hard environment, especially during that time.
During that time, 100%. Like golf and tennis, that just wasn't a place that black people were invited or seen at.
You know what's crazy? Thank you for the call, Paul. Thinking about Arthur, I kind of thought I didn't want to name all the names because I have a whole list of people, but I was like, want to make sure folks get involved in this. But going back to what you just mentioned about golf, Rob, the Masters, and you know this too, didn't open up the doors till like 1989 to black people.
I know.
Did you hear what I just said to you? 1989?
You know what?
Not 1889. 1980. Dude, sometimes I think when we have these uncomfortable conversations, people want to put it as if things were 600 years ago, 150, 200 years. Dude.
I know what you're saying.
That's crazy.
But here's the thing. I was on MLB Network today, right? Had a hit with Brian Kenny, MLB Now.
You look good. Was it a gray little look fit or something?
Gray, yeah. Black shirt. But I was talking to Brian Kenny, and I was bringing up, I'm a proud card-carrying member of the BBWA, the Baseball Writers Association of America. I am. And the reason I am, when I look in their history, the first black writer who was allowed to be in the BBWAA was a guy named Wendell Smith from Chicago. He got in 1947. That's when his thing was approved.
Wow. You
just talked about 1989.
Yeah.
This is an organization that was all white. In 1947, approved his credentials so that he could start being a BBWAA member. And then even when Jackie Robinson, think about this, when he was Rookie of the Year, all the writers were white, and they voted for a black guy to be the National League Rookie of the Year in 1947. Those are some really, when you start to think about what the time was.
Oh, for sure. It sounds crazy now.
Because that's 20 years before civil rights.
Yep,
think about that.
100%. And I mean, and Martin Luther King mentioned that about Jackie. He said, you helped propel where I am now, what we're trying to do because of what you did for baseball, you playing and being part of that. It opens people's eyes up. I guess maybe I can work with somebody of a different race or root for somebody of a different race.
Exactly,
and deal with somebody
and that was it.
And,
especially the root part. He got on a Brooklyn Dodger uniform. What do you mean? I want him to get a hit.
Right. And those small things, too, are important, especially when you start talking about kids because it opens them up to, like, things early. The worst part about it is then we put all our bad stuff on kids. Kids don't come out racist. Don't come out.
They don't know any of that.
They don't know any of that. My daughters play with any and everybody.
And then you start
pouring it on them.
That video of the two boys running towards each other, the black kid and white.
That's literally what life is supposed to be. Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah,
they're just two little boys who are
get a little misty up here. You trying to have us crying?
No, but that video is unbelievable.
They were so happy to see each other.
They were just friends.
What we're talking about, it's two, maybe 3-year-old boys.
And they're like down the block from each other.
And they're like, oh, and they see each other. They just like
and they just start running
and hug
towards
and embrace. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. That's what it's supposed to be. Seriously.
Johnny in Wisconsin, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Hey, guys. I was going to say Jesse Owens, but maybe you can give me a history lesson. Who was the athlete that put his fist up in the air on the final podium?
Tommy Smith.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. In the Olympics, 1968, they were sent home.
Yep.
It was a controversy, but at the time, the plight of the black man, what was going on in the country, and they felt that they had to bring attention to it.
Without it, I was going to bring them up too. That's John Carlos and Tommy Smith, and the premise was, they were trying to figure out what they could do, so they had on their gloves and they threw up the Black Power fist, and obviously they got so much hate from it, but it's an iconic shot. And that was that whole 1968 Olympics. You had a lot of people boycotted them. Some people didn't go. Some people were going to go. I think Kareem boycotted. I think he was a little out-center then, but it was a big deal. And
there was a turbulent time.
And again, to the caller's point there, sometimes people forget it becomes a big deal later. In the time, that is a brave and a heroic thing to do.
Big time.
What a lot of these folks did back then.
All right, we got two more we're going to squeeze in
cool
real
now,
quick. Derek in Houston, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Derek?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Love your show. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got two, actually. My first one, Rob, you'll appreciate this one. former World Series champion, what have you, Kurt Flood.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Flood, he changed free agency, not just in baseball, but in all sports.
Yep, they all give him
without
credit.
giving up his career and doing what he did, we might not have it.
They all give him credit for it, yep.
Kurt Flood.
And then second one, he may not get a lot of publicity for doing stuff, but Joe Louis actually opened up the gates for black folks to be able to play in golf tournaments. The San Diego Open back in the 40s or whatever, he had membership to the San Diego Country Club, what have you, and he made it possible for them to be able to, for black folks to be able to start playing in tournaments.
Man,
that's a great
stuff.
call. Yeah, great call there.
Thank you. Let's squeak.
Yeah, one more.
Bubba.
What's up, gentlemen?
In Reading, what's happening? What's up, Bubba?
How we doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Doing great.
First time, long time.
Man, thank you. Long time.
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate that, my man. And, you know, we can have fun and we can have these real conversations.
Yep.
Tonight was one of those real ones.
Absolutely. Going back to Jackie, I'm in NorCal. Dad grew up in L.A., Dodgers lifer here. And, just growing up knowing that the history of what that organization did, like, it never fazed me, like you guys were saying. I don't know. You can be whatever you are. Like, I love whoever you are. You can be whatever you are. It's great. So I take pride in this day as a Dodger fan in particular. And then, so sticking on baseball, I was going to say Bob Gibson.
Gibson, yeah.
Legendary.
And you know what the other thing, too, is? I want to say this, too, Bubba. Is this is why sports is such a big part of this society. Because when you go to a game or a situation, you don't have to know anybody, who they are, their economic standing, you know, are they for abortion, or are they against abortion? You know what I mean? Like you come together and you see people as one. It's incredible, sports. That's why it is such a big deal.
That's the bad part. Is that we leave and then we go back into the craziness.
Right.
For 2.5 hours, we high-fived anybody, cheer with everybody. I might have bought the whole row of beer. It's all good. And
I ain't
then,
buying no row, no beer.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I got carried away.
All right,
I did.
get crazy.
My bad. I got a little crazy on that one. Anyway, rest in peace.
Hey, thanks for the conversation, guys.
Love it.
Appreciate the conversation.